Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk to you in some detail about audience targeting for Facebook ads. So when it comes to running ads in the dating and relationships niche, for women in particular, this is a good way to go about it. Alright, so you can use these strategies in a parallel kind of way in personal development, weight loss, whatever you want. It's a similar approach to it. But basically what we do is we look at, usually I'll either go with, say, as far as the country is concerned, either the USA or outside USA. So we'll have both. Let's say I'm targeting people that are interested in romantic comedies. I'll make sure that I've set the age to 35 and over, because they're generally the people that have credit cards and buy stuff. So I normally go women aged 35 and over who are in the USA and their interest is romantic comedies. Now in the whole world, 166 million, you're probably still going to be tens of millions in the US. So that's going to be a big audience. That's fine for that ad. I'll also run it the exact same thing, except I'll target people outside the USA. And when I target people outside the USA, I'll use these exclusions. So if you go to commissionsclub.com/exclusions, see commissionsclub.com/exclusions, you'll find that there's this big group of countries to eliminate, and it includes the United States in here, because if you're targeting everywhere except the USA, like the world everywhere, and you exclude these countries, you end up with a good group of countries that usually tends to convert, and quite often converts better than the USA, at least in terms of bang for buck. Like you might spend less money per sale on those ads than you do on the USA at times. It's all depends. You just got to test these things. You don't know till you test. And usually for each test, personally, I usually like to run $25 a day for 2 days. So that's $50 per test. And I like to see at least minimum of one sale to keep it going, but generally 2 sales within $50, and you know that you're onto something. Okay. Generally, if you're really, how do I say it, concerned about getting an early result, then it tends to work reasonably well to you could even dial that back further and say, you know what, if I haven't seen a sale on my first $25, then I'm going to turn that one off and go for the other interests, because there's so many to target. So USA and outside USA. And when I say outside the USA, I mean excluding all of these countries. Okay, so and then what kind of things work? Well, there's so many audiences work, and some can be really weird and you just don't realize it. So it's worth trying a lot of these things. You may wish to try the kind of person that watches a video sales letter all the way to the end and actually buys these kind of products. They're not just into relationships advice. They often buy for entertainment purposes as well, because they just enjoy the whole story that's been told in the VSL, and they want that continuation of that in the book as well, and in the audio version of that book. A lot of them listen to the audio edition of it. So with that in mind, it's worth looking at. That's why I think audiences like romantic comedies, they convert well. Romantic poetry, romantic story, romance film, romance novels. You see, these are millions of people in these audiences. Okay, so if the audience is at least 1 million people, you're good. You've got a good size. If it's under 1 million people, then I look to pull them together until my audience size is over 1 million. So you can group interests together if you're under 1 million. But if it's over 1 million, you don't need to group interests together, because that's perfectly enough people already for your ad to be running for quite a while, in that without atrophying. Okay, so it's worth bearing that in mind. Some of these are really, really big. Now, some of these audiences might not make sense, because I just typed the word romance and I ended up with all of these audiences. Some of these, like Amazon publishing, that doesn't make sense to me, but you never know. You could try it might work, but I'm not really interested in necessarily that one. But in general, when I cut and pasted this, a lot of these, it's worth a test. You know, it's worth a test. It may work. Even novels might work. You don't know until you try it. But obviously, if it's got the word romance or something like that in it, even Jennifer Aniston, like you could think of celebrities that are normally in romantic movies and see how they get on. as a target. Or we find daytime soap operas like Days of Our Lives tend to work. Even TV series like Fuller House and Friends and stuff like that. Daytime talk shows like Dr. Phil. Big audiences, and they tend to convert well in the dating relationships niche for women. There's different magazine types. There's Oprah Winfrey, of course. There's films that are got specific names like The Notebook or Love Story, 1970 film. Like, so many people like these things. Even certain magazine titles, they just go on forever. Magazine titles, got a whole bunch of them, and you don't know till you try it. It might work, it might not, but you can try targeting a magazine title and just spend $50 at it and see, does it work, does it not. If it doesn't send you sales, 2 sales in your first $50, you go, no, that's not an audience. But if it does, then you go, great, I have now discovered an audience that I can just keep running ads to and making big profits from. And that's what you're looking for. And there are so many more. There's Cosmopolitan magazine, there's Parents magazine, I mean, you name it. I mean, you may find women that read Maxim magazine, for all you know, they might end up buying product. We don't know. Their audience might be small though, of women. It might be mostly men, so it might not be good. I don't know until you try it. But there's so many of them. And then there's romance novels like Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. You'd probably mix those two together, and you may even add Jane Austen into that whole thing because that's under 1 million people. You can end up with other groups based on other interesting things that women are interested in, like crystal healing or healing hugs, energy healing, yoga. There's so many different topics. The idea is that you just pick an interest and give it a go. We're not looking for the specific interest, dating and relationships. We're not targeting women who are single nor in a relationship. We've found that just not even mentioning if they're single or not seems to do really well, because these products that we have, quite often it's people in a relationship that want to improve their relationship that buy them anyway. So let the Pixel figure that out. The Pixel will notice, okay, only single people are buying this product, we'll stop showing it to single people. That'll figure itself out. Don't worry about getting too granular there, because that way you won't be paying as much as well per visitor if you can give Facebook enough leeway. Okay, so I hope that's been really helpful. I mean, that's more than enough. You can use the audiences that I've just shown you, and that's probably more than enough for you to get on with this. Massive audiences, but you may use some of my tips there and come up with audiences that I haven't even mentioned here in this particular video. I hope that this all makes sense to you, and I look forward to seeing your success and hearing your success stories. Alright, that's it from me. Bye for now.